The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Susan Sweeney, one of the Deans at eLearning U, and I'd like to welcome you to today's program. 10 simple things you can do right now to bring customers back digitally during the pandemic. For anybody that's new on the call, we go for about 50 minutes of great content, and then we have about 10 minutes of Q&A. We do our Q&A one of two ways. You can type your question in the question area as we go along, and I'll read those questions out to our expert, Dennis Yu, today. Alternatively, if you'd like to speak directly to Dennis to get your question answered, just hold that question till we're in the question period. And then you can click on that little hand symbol in the control panel. It lights up on my screen and lets me know that you want me to unmute you. I'll give you a little heads up, call you by your first name, and I will unmute you. You'll be able to speak to Dennis, get your question answered. Everybody can hear the question, everybody can hear the answer. And once your question's been answered to your satisfaction, I will then mute you again and we'll go on to the next question. Dennis Yu is the Chief Technology Officer at Blitzmetrics. He's an internationally recognized lecturer in Facebook marketing, having been featured in the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, LA Times, National Public Radio, TechCrunch, Fox News, and CBS Evening News. He's also an author at Inside Facebook and All Facebook. Dennis has held leadership positions at Yahoo and American Airlines. He studied finance and economics from Southern Methodist University and the London School of Economics. Dennis, we're so happy to have you back with us. You're always such a wealth of information. Really looking forward to your program.
Thank you, Susan, and thank you everyone that's here. My goodness. Greetings from Indianapolis. I flew in last night from LA, and I'm here, believe it or not, speaking at a conference with 300 some people. Can you believe that? I thought conferences were dead. But lo and behold, this is the hotel that I'm at, the Holiday Inn Express here in downtown, where it's right across from the stadium right here. See, this is where I am. And the funny thing is that these guys were relatively easy to find on my phone. And they have their Yelp reviews, their Google reviews, their TripAdvisor reviews, their Facebook reviews. They're doing well here, and it makes it easy to book. And there's a lot of problems that we see with travel and tourism where they're not doing basic things and not being found. These are things that you would have wanted to do anyway, but even more now, because people are online more, we've got to make sure that we've got these 10 tips that we're talking about. This is a presentation we gave just a couple weeks ago with the Better Business Bureau. And while these tips are for properties in the United States, this will work anywhere. And I'll show you some examples of how this has been working. So number one, make a 15-second video saying that you are open. This was maybe a bigger deal a few months ago when people weren't even sure what was open or not. But if you let people know that you're open, and you have to keep making this video every week or so, if not more often, because people don't know. And this is really true of restaurants as well, right? Some restaurants are closed permanently. Others, you've got to say you're open, and it doesn't have to be a commercial. It's literally just making a video with your phone, someone on staff. It could be anybody. It doesn't have to be from an executive or the general manager. It's just, hey guys, want to let you know, we're open, and here is something that we're doing to keep our guests safe, right? We have this mask policy. This is what we do with our food preparation. No more than 2 people in the elevator at a time. Those are all just little things to let people know that you're open. And when you update that across all these other channels, then you are ahead of all the other properties, right? If you're open. Now, if you're closed and you're in an amusement park and you're closed, even though I've seen some amusement parks that are open, can you believe it or not? In Texas, the roller coasters and water parks are open. I don't know how that's possible. I think it's 25% capacity. But if you're open, I don't see properties posting these videos across other channels. And it just seems like an obvious kind of thing to do, because whether you want to rank in Google, or you want to show up in social media, or you just want to drive engagement, video is what absolutely works, and you need recent video. And if you're just not able to or don't want to produce the video, have someone in batch every month. Just make a whole bunch of videos all at once in 20 minutes, right? Hire some young adult, right? Ask some guest if you're not creepy. And then just record all of it, and then you can trickle it out. That way you don't feel like you have to be Gary Vaynerchuk making video every day. But this makes a massive difference because it's what's going to rank when people are searching. Even if I type in hotel Indianapolis, you would think that that wouldn't affect the showing up here in Google search, but because Google here is showing universal search, which is a mix of all these different items, having mixes of video will help you, especially with the OTAs being so competitive, right? You can see the OTAs are just taking up the whole first page, and on mobile, it's even worse. You guys already know that. I hear a lot of folks complaining about the OTAs. Hey, you guys are still producing the content. Fine, they might have the directories, they might have the big budgets, but man, you can collect the videos from the properties and you put in these signals that you say where you are and who you are, and you say you're across from the stadium, or you say, hey, the park is closed, or whatever it is that you want to, whatever you can say to give local updates is going to work very well. We happen to like Facebook right now because in the last 4 months, the cost of traffic, because so many people are online and there's not as many folks advertising, the cost of that traffic is back to where it was in 2012, if you can believe that. And I'd love to hear if you guys have been boosting posts on Facebook. Have you noticed that as well? And you would only need to boost to folks in your city, 5-mile radius, 10-mile radius, depending on how far customers come. I'd love to see, let me know in the chat, for example, what have you found with these posts? And for travel and tourism, what we found is that when you boost just to the city, instead of doing different combinations of custom audiences or narrowing down by interest or by demographic, which is semi-illegal depending on where you are, that you don't need to have that kind of complexity. The traffic is so cheap, the algorithm is so smart that if you literally just take those videos, video's key because boosting works way better with video. You can create custom audiences against it, and you get more analytics. It just does a lot better. The organic post that you then boost, it just does so much better when you boost it. So I would recommend you give that a shot, even if it's a tiny budget. So $1 a day is $30 a month. It's certainly worth testing. And if you have 4 or 5 posts that you're testing at the same time, now you're spending $100, $200 a month. See how much site traffic it gives you. See how much you're getting in referral traffic. Like if you're using UTM parameters, I think you're going to find it's pretty strong, especially if you use Facebook's own attribution, which is not part of their analytics, which is not part of the page insights, which is not part of what people normally look at, because it shows you how your search and social and email and other efforts are working together. This is one that almost no one does, is creating a public figure page. And this can be, a public figure page can be for the general manager. It can be for any, like the chef. It can be anyone that you want to do. And for example, if you look at me, this is my profile. This is a user. You have 5,000 friends as a limit. You can see I'm at 4,999, which is, I leave one open in case someone wants to become a friend, right? I get a ton of friend requests, as you can see. But that's a profile. That's what all of us understand as a profile. That is not your page. A page is a business page, right? Here I'm as a person. Look, there's a lot of Dennis U's. It's like Smith's or something. But this is a page called Dennis U. And the same way your property has a page. And when you make pages for key people in your organization, you can cross-share that content. And it can look more, and it should look a little bit more personal. You can drive traffic in different ways, right? This is just a great way to cheat, I think, on Facebook, because then you're able to tell interviews and stories, and people think it's a profile, but really it's a page that happens to be called the name of the GM or the name of the restaurant or the name of, anything that might look a little bit more personal. Because after all, it has to look social for social media. One of the easiest ways to get video is you interview customers and team members. So if you want to interview someone who works in the gift shop, interview a landscaper, interview a housekeeper, interview one of the catering folks, interview other people, not a formal sit down Barbara Walters 60 minutes interview, but just literally a quick little thing saying, hey, what's going on today? Oh, well, we're preparing for this one event, or this is I'm cooking this food, or it's really nice outside, I'm trimming the garden, whatever it is, right? And these little interviews are the ones that you can recycle into different pieces. And almost no one is doing this, which drives me nuts. And here's one I'll show you. This is the Harbor Hotels group, and they've got properties all over the place. And we ran this audit. I think this thing is like 170 pages. Can you see how many pages this thing is? It's a lot. Oh, it's 170 pages. It's a lot. But the main thing here to see how they're ranking on Google, which is SEO, search engine optimization, is seeing how the content that they produce, it's video content that gets cross-posted to YouTube, which is owned by Google, cross-posted to Instagram, which is owned by Facebook, affects their ability to rank on Christchurch hotels in Christchurch. And we absolutely see these differences by posting this content. And a lot of people will think, like, here's another one, Bristol Hotels, Spa. All of these things work together. When you have these little video snippets, which is not just sales and not just pictures of the property, but little things with the guests, little behind the scenes, non-advertising looking content, which folks don't seem to want to produce for some reason. This is what's going to drive your SEO. Look, video is like your magic bullet that in the pandemic is going to help you, because it drives your ads. You put it on the website. You can put it in your listings, right, in your GMB. There's so many different aspects of recycling this video. And we find that video does a lot better than just images. So if you're doing this, then kudos to you, right? And a lot of folks who run marketing will say, well, I need to hire a videographer. That's not our thing. I don't know how to use a video camera. That's something that's another department. Or I just do, the email landing pages and direct mail and email marketing, or the website. I don't do the video part. That's someone, I'm scared of that. And that's another, it's in someone else's budget. Or I'm telling you, this video thing is going to change your life. Even if you're like me and you're not really wanting to get on video, it drives everything here. Facebook, Twitter, you make these little videos. It doesn't have to be professional. It doesn't have to be scripted. It doesn't have to be this big ordeal. You literally just pull out your phone, or just hire or one of the kids you have on staff. They're good with things like Snapchat and TikTok. I'm scared to death of those things too. I can't do silly dancing and all that. I'd fall down. But get these little videos. It will make such a difference. And there's so many ways to collect video. Oh, by the way, if you don't like to be on video, because that's really the main thing I hear from other people, is they don't want to be on video. They make all these excuses, but really they just don't want to be on video. Then be like me, and you take your cell phone and you point your cell phone at the other people and you interview them. That way you're behind the camera and you're not on the camera. That's how I escape the camera, because I'm one holding it, right? Hopefully you find that helps. I've seen some people use that technique, because I couldn't, I've spoken at these conferences and I can't get them to like, we spoke at SDTA, the San Diego Tourism Association, which is the San Diego Zoo and Hyatt and United Airlines and the convention center and all that. And man, the biggest challenge was we couldn't get the UGC, and we couldn't get the people that were running marketing or the zookeepers or whatever. We just couldn't get these folks to make the video until we just said, hey, delegate it to one of the young adults, and then with permission, they can get it from the guests, right? Then turn these videos into blog posts. Turn them into memes, because you can take a video and you can chop it into lots of different pieces. And now you've got 5 different things from one piece of content. Let me show you one way that we do this. This is one of our many favorite tools, but you could use YouTube or Google Drive or Dropbox, or, if you have video editors, they probably like to, do Premiere Pro or whatnot. I'll give you one example. Let's see. This was kind of fun. You guys know who Jake Paul is? Jake Paul just got in trouble yesterday. I think the feds came and raided his house. He's a YouTube celebrity. Arguably, he's like the #1 YouTube influencer. And what'll happen here is we were making all these videos together, right? And this has nothing to do with travel or tourism, but I thought I'd just show you, just to show you the concept. And together talking about how do you make video? How do you build your personal brand? And we've got all these videos that are uploaded here, and you can upload it in YouTube or whatever the thing is. But the point is, I can take any one of these videos and then transcribe it through Descript or Rev.com or the YouTube API or Fancy Hands, or did I say the YouTube API's got a transcription? There's all these different ways of just grabbing the words out of these discussions, and then I turn them into blog posts, right? So here we're talking about, what are we talking about? Building a brand. I think this is like our influence generator kit. I'll just show you like part of it. Oh, there's his dogs. So here we're saying it's just a select and scenes of building a brand, getting traffic. And then I'm off camera telling him what to do. But you've got to have a system. It's called the 9 triangles. Okay. That's just, you don't listen to that one. But anyway, we're turning these into blog posts, right? And that's how we're generating tons and tons of content. So video is great because when you produce one video, you can turn it into 20 different, even 100 different pieces of content. It's fantastic. See, it all goes back to video. And for those that think it's kind of a fad or think they can get away with not doing it, video is the closest thing that you have to being with a customer. And if you can't physically be with a customer right now because of, you know, masks and all this 6 feet, then these videos of you just showing what you're up to day to day as you're going about doing marketing or going on the property is so key to building that kind of connection. People make decisions rationally based on things like price and what's the best, you know, the amenities and stuff like that, but how close they are to the airport. But it's that people connection that really makes the difference if it's a competitive market. So here, do an Instagram story about a behind the scenes movement. So I love to interview the staff and ask them, so what's going on in town, right? I was in Austin a month ago and I said, wow, South by Southwest is not coming back anymore because of all this. What are you guys doing, right? And so they were telling me and talking about what the job situation was like, because tourism was down and the kinds of things that they're doing. And you hear some stories about how they're, keeping their staff and, just all these different things that are going on. Another way to show this benevolence kind of behind the scenes thing is you can leave a review on 3 other local businesses. Why would you do that? Why would you talk to the other businesses? Because they're going to leave reviews for you, and then you're part of the community, and then that shows what's called mutuality with the search engines. The search engines want to know who is connected to each other, and because they don't really have that much information, when you leave a review, it causes them to have, those companies then have things to share, right, about you and vice versa, and it's just going to help you rank. And part of it is an SEO strategy, not because of links, but because it just creates more visibility. And that's how you're going to beat the OTAs, because they don't have those kinds of relationships. So if I want to get some dinner tonight, because I'm having dinner with some friends tonight, I can't even spell this, dinner, Indianapolis. I'm here in downtown. Actually, no, this is the one I'm going to. I bet you this is Google being really, how the heck do they know I'm eating at Harry and Izzy's? Look, you can literally look at my calendar and it says here, we're having dinner at Harry. Look, we're having dinner at Harry and Izzy's. How the heck? This is like Google knowing way too much. Look, that's the first one that popped up. Is that there's so many other places to eat. How come they decided, wow, that's, I believe that the search engines and social networks are listening to your phone. You ever have that? So whether you believe that or not, when you are engaging with other local businesses and you get your staff to do it, this is proof right here. Like this literally just happened, right? In a couple hours, I'm going to go have dinner at this place. And of course, we can look at their Google listing and see what they have. Wow, 4.7, 2,000 reviews. Of course, you want to check your reviews across all the different properties. Yeah, they've got Q&A. You have posts that you can do. This is pretty good. Always make sure you reply to everybody, right? Engage on them. See, if we go back and look at these guys and see how they're doing on the reviews. Like, you guys obviously know reviews are the key. That's why video is so key. Like any opportunity you have to click video, any opportunity to ask people to leave. And there's tools. There's lots of, tools like Get 5 stars, whatever, that help you get more reviews. But man, even if you have tools that automatically send folks emails saying, hey, leave me a review, you still got to collect that video and you still got to post it. Like, look, here's this property and this is how they're doing against other hotels in that area. This is a little tool that we have. It costs us like $2 basically for engineering and whatnot to be able to run this report. I'll run a report if you want, but you can see, right? They have a lot of likes, 14,000. That's pretty big. Most properties don't have very many. They want 500. And they're above in terms of these other areas, but man, there's so much more they could do with engagement and then cross-sharing this to the other channels that they have. Like literally just cross-post it to YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest even. And then you might say, yeah, but I'm a small team. It's just me doing marketing. I can't manage all the social networks. So I just manage, Facebook and GMB. Well, there's tools that will automate that cost like $10 a month. And it does help you on your search and social, right? If you can fix your website, there's always things like speed. There's buying the keywords that the competitors have and the keywords that you don't rank on organically, or there's keywords that you do rank on organically that you should still buy anyway, just to see, like, this is what we're doing here. It's just interesting to see where having video and cross-posting it and getting reviews and cross-posting that, like literally you can take your favorite 5-star review, could have been a couple of years ago, people won't judge you on that. Take a screenshot of it, grab the text out of it, and post it on Facebook, on your Facebook page saying, thank you so much, Sally. And then it shows a picture of her and or whatever she posted from Yelp or whatnot. And, you copy and paste the review right in there. Like, why not? Right? You don't want to produce content? Fine, have them produce your content. Collect positive mentions. So this is something that most people don't do. You can use whatever your favorite monitoring tool is, mention.com, brand24, Google Alerts. And so we can look at this hotel that I'm at tonight, Holiday Express Indianapolis, and see, like, what are people saying here? But I could just as easily go look on Twitter because people are checking in, and maybe they're here because they were rioting and it was a close place downtown. But I want to see, what's going on here. And here's their stuff. Oh, the Indiana, is this the one? This one, right? Holiday Inn Express, Elgin, Texas. No, that's not the one I want. But if I was these guys, then I'd want to see, where are people mentioning me? Oh, it looks this way. The best way to search for Twitter is actually on Google. I think it's funny. Do you ever Google yourself or search for your properties natively on these different places and see like what shows up? Holiday Inn Express South. This is a very convenient hotel if you're driving through whatever it is. And there's their Yelp thing. And look, there's no engagement on it. What a mistake. Look, if someone says something good, I would be all over this. What is this? Arrive, last leg of the journey at the Holiday Inn Express Indianapolis. Swarm app. Someone liked it. Who liked it? Was it the property? Somebody. Wi-Fi slow here. Maybe I'll leave a complaint, right? Foursquare. Okay. Foursquare powers Twitter's location, But look at these guys are not even, they're not even getting, I'll follow Holiday Inn. Okay, fine. Look, all these people are saying things ready for the weekend. They're so happy. Instagram. Betty Ross. What does she have to say? Do you have someone that's doing this? And maybe that you're so busy you don't have anyone that is doing this. You can hire someone from the Philippines at $3 an hour, or on Upwork, or some college kid that can't work at Chili's because they're not going back to school in the fall. Well, I think some campuses say they're opening, but last I checked, most people aren't going back to school, or they're going to do this virtual. Harvard's $50,000 a year tuition, and they're going to charge that now for virtual. Can you imagine paying $50,000 a year just to go to 3 Zoom calls a day? It's just, holy moly. Ready for the weekend. She's an excited lesbian. That's interesting. And it's 208 weeks ago. Well, I guess you have to be careful depending on what you're going to say. to that. But still, she checked in here on Instagram, and you could say something like, you know, whatever, think about what you might say and train your staff on what they can say and not say. Because, you know, nowadays people can get offended real easy. So just be careful about that. But the point is, you still want to acknowledge these folks, right? Collect these mentions. You see how many there are? Like, we could literally go to any channel. You can name a social network, and we can go look at when people are talking about whatever it is. Let's see. Compensation clinic, bed bugs. Oh, well, that's not good. Waiting on parts. What is going on here? Resting before our meetings. So I would say to Deshaun, hey, I hope you know your meetings went well. What is this? Resting before our meetings. All right. And there's nothing from the property. What a missed opportunity. Isn't that a shame? Look, they're producing content. It's like being an Eskimo and saying there's not enough snow. I'm I need more ice. Like, no, you don't. There's stuff all around you. Grab it, stick it to your content library, right? And so as you build all these different pieces, as you have a process to monitor, it could be daily, it could be every week. It just depends on your staffing and how committed you are to getting this content. It doesn't have to be every day, although with reputation management, I would definitely set up alerts. There's lots of tools that will tell you when someone mentions you. And build a content library that, here, I'll show you. We even have a template for this, which I don't have open right now, but I can open it if you guys want. Now, this is a little bit over the top because we've used this for enterprise and used it for beyond just, like one property, because we do lots of things. Like we do stuff for like Nike and the Golden State Warriors and some big companies. So there's places that we're publishing to. We're keeping track of images, where they are and what people said. We've got tons of articles so you can see. We're just tracking it. We just keep adding to it because we can reuse it. You can absolutely reuse a story that was from years ago. It's totally okay, unless it's like from when your property was before it was remodeled and it was different, or you can, and even something that was a piece of news, you can still find a way to make it evergreen by just taking different portions of it. Then we'll transcribe it. Actually, we didn't do the fancy hands ones. We'll grab 1-minute videos of when people are saying good things, just to be able to, grab where they came from. There's a list of videos that we want to make. There's things where people are saying really good things about us. So of course we're going to grab those, right? Are you doing that? If you're not collecting what we call your greatest hits, then you're not leveraging your audience doing your work for you. And in this pandemic, people go back to who they trust, and they like the safety of things that they've known for a long time. So if anything, you absolutely can reuse things that you've done from quite a while ago. It's awesome. Like, one of our favorite things is we will send out socks with people's faces on them to our favorite customers. See, I know it seems creepy, but look, here are these socks with my friend Travis and Brennan, and here's their faces, right? It's great. Now all these people are sharing it, and we're just showing people that we care, right? You ever leave the welcome basket and the note with the Perrier or whatever saying, chocolate mint, or, oh, we're so glad, Sally, that you're back, right? But the content library is how you are going to bring it all together. And if you do these 10 things and you just do them over and over again, you're going to win, because it's like two people running in the forest and the one guy in front, he's not running very fast. And the second guy says, you can't outrun a bear. I know, but I can outrun you. So you have to only outrun the other properties in your area. And it's not hard because they are not doing these things. And my hope is that you'll see that these are simple things to do. And you'll see that video is the key to all these things. And with this coronavirus thing, who knows how long it's going to go for? I mean, heck, maybe there'll be a vaccine and we'll reopen in spring, or maybe this thing will continue for a while and there's going to be masks all the time. But whatever the case is, would you agree with me that video is here to stay? That people being online as they're searching and entertaining themselves and watching Netflix or whatever, that this is only going to increase? Things are not going back to normal. So these things that maybe you have heard of before, but you haven't done, now is a great time to do it, because you didn't have to budget, because you're busy, because you're doing pretty well and you didn't really need to do these different things. But now is a great time to do these things, and it's not hard. My favorite thing to do is partner with local universities and say, hey, you know, we know some of your students are looking for work and we want to help out because, you know, I graduated from the school, or, you know, I have friends that go there, or, you know, we're a supporter of whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, sure, you know, we can send out a bulletin that, you know, you guys are hiring, and they're going to get social media intern kind of credit and experience, and then you have them do this stuff for you and send them through our training. And so what we did for the Better Business Bureau is we put together this training on how do you build these 1-minute videos. Look, here's one of my favorite young adults. His name is Jake Campoli. He's 23. And this guy goes around and collects all these videos. I don't want to collect these videos. Do you want to collect videos? Let's be honest. I don't want to edit videos. These things scare me. It's like, you remember your parents, maybe they were afraid of the VCR 20 or 30 years ago, and like we would fix the VCR for them because it was just too complicated for them. Well, that's kind of how I see it is for us as marketing managers and directors and business owners, is that fortunately we're kind of missing it when it comes to the social components. And I mean, let's be honest, right? You ever think like, oh, this TikTok thing, I don't really, you know, I don't get that. Snapchat, what the heck is that? Why are these people posting these 15-second stories and taking their food up to the window, you know, where there's natural light and taking pictures? Instagram eats first. My food's getting cold. Why are you spending all this time doing all this Instagramming stuff? But have these native people do the work. And that way you're getting marketing work done for you competently with people who like to do it. You can then say, we're so glad that Natalie is here helping us with social media. And meanwhile, she looks great. It's a great story you can tell. The local newspaper picks it up. It's not hard to do, by the way. You just call up the local newspaper or TV station saying, hey, you know, we wanted to highlight Natalie and how she's doing such a good job. And, you know, she's, instead of doing whatever, she was working at this place that was closed, but now she's doing this. I mean, what a great story. The news loves picking up on stuff like that, right? Then they interview the owner saying, yes, such an innovative thing that the Harbor Hotels Group is employing these kids and giving them jobs. And so literally I'm making lots of these videos with my iPhone. Look, there's the iPhone 11 Pro Max. This is the one I have. Any phone will do. I like the newer ones because I think the camera is better. I never use the phone for the phone anyway. I don't like making phone calls. But here we've got lots of these videos that we're like, this is one from, was this in Indianapolis? What is this one? See, I got so many videos, I don't even remember what they are. Oh, I'm making a 1-minute video on stage about making 1-minute videos. Oh boy, that's Inception for you. I think this is in Salt Lake City. I think it was. Yeah, the Wi-Fi here is slow, so I apologize if this is laggy. I'll just close this one. You don't want to hear me talk about this stuff. Not like that. Okay. And when you have these, then just take this stuff and have, you know, have these kids or young adults or your staff at the registration, or, you know, if it's slow, then, you know, give them something else to do, right? You have some waiters and whatnot when the restaurant is slow, or let them create this video for you and upload it and learn how to edit it and learn how to, you know, put it out there on social media. We like to hire virtual assistants in the Philippines for $3 an hour to do this, and we've got an army of them. And for those of you who are working closely with an agency, or you have an in-house agency, the number one thing that agencies are doing is hiring in-house for video. I mean, you can hire copywriters and people that do PPC and build websites and write email and use marketing automation tools, but I'm telling you, the number one thing that most in demand, hot, is video. And being able to collect and structure and edit and post and write copy for these videos is absolutely key. Like being able to analyze, is this video performing, right? Goes on and on and on. You guys know video is important, but maybe you didn't have the training. on how you get your videos together. So this, I think we charge $189 for this course. Or no, this one's $25 and the dollar a day one is $189. But because we're all friends here, if you message me, I'll just give it to you, okay? Like I'll give you a code or I'll just give it to you. Because Susan and I have done how many webinars together? Over how many years? I've lost track. A lot. But I want to give you guys the training because maybe you're a manager and you're not the one who's going to be doing all the work. Then get this stuff and then now you can hold your people accountable. Like here's 19 types of 1-minute videos, right? A lot of these little interviews off of your phone, you know, what's going on outside, or you interview a special guest, or you talk about what's going on in your conference room, or, you know, hey, did you know that you can have a conference here? You know, we can have meetings here, and here's the way it's set up. We have high-speed internet, I don't know, whatever it might be, right? Look at all these kinds of people that you can interview or have someone else interview. But either way, either you're doing it, like if you're the one having to do the marketing because you're a small team, then fine, learn how to do it, right? And it might seem like a lot. How do you eat the elephant one bite at a time? Or have other people to help you. If you're managing a team or you have an external agency or whatever, have them go through this stuff. Have them demonstrate that they can fill out the topic wheel with 1-minute videos and distribute across all these different channels, right? So this is just one of them. For the BBB, we also put together things like this $1 a day course, right? And I thought it's kind of cool, like teaching this together with the Better Business Bureau. Is like, okay, we've got the weight of the BBB saying they believe in trust and they've got lots of businesses. They bring a huge audience. I don't care if the audience is 20 people, 2,000 people. I love just seeing what other people are doing. And whether you're watching this on the replay or watching it live, I'd love to hear, like, how are you implementing this? What's working? What is difficult for you? What do you find interesting? This is, look, there's this guy here, because he's from the BBB and does their digital. We like to have our virtual assistants grab candid pictures of these folks just to have some fun. I mean, if they're cool, like if they're too corporate, we're not going to do that. But I didn't grab any of Susan, although she's harder to find on social media. She doesn't have as many of those kinds of pictures. And we're literally just putting stuff out here, teaching people, here's how you boost stuff on Facebook. And you can see this one is not a 10-minute read. This is 70 pages of going through. And, you know, once you put the video there, now you have to optimize it. Or, you know, here, you have a positive mention. Remember, there's that person who, I think she was a lesbian and she was checking in at the hotel and she was excited. Great, you know, we support everybody. So this happens and then say, wow, that is so awesome. Can I quote you on that? Or, you know, mind if I share that and celebrate that you guys have your 5th anniversary, or, you know, whatever it is, right? And they say, oh, yes, of course. And then you have something that's called lightweight consent. If they say yes on Twitter or whatever, they don't have to fill out a release form. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm just telling you that my lawyer friends told me this. And I've been saying this for years and it's been fine so far. And then you can use it in your marketing materials. You put it in your content library. You see step 3. Step 4, client love. Just say thank you to them. It can be simply retweeting. It can be commenting back. You always want to comment back on TripAdvisor. Never let that thing alone. Positive or negative, always comment back, please. Like, that's just free money you're missing. Free, or just shows that you're not there. No one's home. No one's listening, right? Always reply back, especially if they complain. Take that thing offline. And then create follow-on content. Because when you say thank you and when you uplift your employees and the other businesses in town, your favorite restaurants or the florist or whatever it might be, you show you're part of the community, they make content again, you share what they have to say about it, they review you. It's just this nice mutual admiration society. And then you're able to amplify because you post it on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, and you could boost it for $1 a day. Even LinkedIn, you know, you can do a company page on LinkedIn. Most people don't even know that. You can do a public figure page on LinkedIn. Like literally, look, here, LinkedIn. So you got, you know, here, I got notifications that are happening on LinkedIn. And here's a post from like yesterday or something, right? No, it was a week ago. And I got 6,000 views, that's fine. And it doesn't have to be about the property or being promotional. I'm just saying something that I thought, hey, you know, for example, this one, hey, if you know something, you should share it. And if you don't, you can interview other people and share it. Either way, right? Either way, show you're part of the community. And then all these people are engaging. and I should be engaging back like I just told you. And I'm at least click like. What does this guy say? Denver. I love it. I've created some great courses. And then I'll say, I have keyboard shortcuts. That way I don't have to type out all the words. Just literally do that, right? And you can have it for your company too. So this is me as a profile. But if you do a search for Dennis, you remember on Facebook, I told you that there's the profile, which is the personal thing, and then there's a page. Look, this is Dennis, you as a company. Yeah, you literally create a company. Your company is the Holiday Inn and Suites downtown Indianapolis, okay? But then you can have names of people as companies too. Oh, look, here's the event, Building Stronger Brands with Dennis Yu. This event was June 18th, right? This is another one of these ones, right? That's great, right? So where are we over here? We're amplifying these endorsements. We're putting ad dollars behind it. I mean, you can certainly bid on all the, boutique hotel, city name, but think about how it might be more powerful when folks are saying good things about you, right? And then this is our process on how you boost. How do you know if it's working? When do you turn it off? When do you put more money? How much money should you spend? How do you make follow-on content? How do you do the same thing on Twitter and LinkedIn? Anyway, this goes on and on and on, okay? So you can see like all this stuff. Look, we did this for the Gold State Warriors, but they're not exactly playing in the stadium right now because of this whole pandemic thing. But, things will open up eventually. And look here, we're saying, happy birthday. Please wish so-and-so happy birthday. Well, that's pretty awesome. Why wouldn't you do that? Now, it's not driving direct sales, but hey, next time someone's doing that search and they see 3 other properties, they're going to remember the one where that property wished their front desk manager a happy birthday. Why? Because it probably means if they care for their staff, they probably would care for me too, don't you think? So either way, it just revolves around saying thank you, making videos, finding ways to show that you're relevant and you care. Because there's a lot of fear going around, and there's just a lot of people that don't know what to do. And when you feel like an old friend that they've known for a while, instead of just corporate brochures put on the internet and hoping that's going to work, or hoping you can hide behind a bunch of tools, and you're going to win here because you're humanizing. You're taking 15-second cell phone videos and sharing it across these other channels. So with that, I hope that you've found value in these 10 simple tips that you can use to stand out and survive and get more customers in this pandemic. I'd love to hear any questions that you have, any comments, things that you agree with or disagree with, or more training that you guys want. Susan's a friend, so I'm sharing it. Whatever you guys want, don't be shy. Don't later think like, oh, I had this question, but I'd be afraid that I might look like an idiot, so I don't want to ask, right? Or someone else will ask that question, or feel free.
Okay, that's great, Dennis. Thanks so much. Great webinar as always. You always give such great real life examples in the webinars that you do. For anybody that joined us late on the call, we do our questions one of 2 ways. You can type your questions in the question area. We already have some in there, and I'll read those out to Dennis. Alternatively, if you'd like to speak directly to Dennis to get your question answered, just click on the little hand symbol in your control panel. It lights up on my screen and lets me know that you want me to unmute you. I'll give you a little heads up, call you by your first name, and then I will unmute you. And as you talk away to Dennis to get your question answered, everybody can hear the question and everybody can hear the answer. Once your question's been answered to your satisfaction, I'll then mute you again and we'll go on to the next question. And next week, we've got a great webinar, Take Purposeful Brand Actions During COVID-19. So make sure you all get signed up for that program. So let's get into our questions. Let me see. The first question is, what's the best video editing tool for your phone?
Now, it depends on how clever you are and how deep you want to get into these tools. My favorite to start with is Apple Clips if you have an iPhone. But if for some reason you don't have an iPhone, and by the way, I know that these things are overpriced tools, okay? But here, I'll show you Facebook Data Studio. They have 10 apps that are free, okay? Oh, look, you can put all these ads here. Facebook. Where is it? I know I have, you know what? I can go to the guide to grab it, but the Pro standard is now, is it Creator Studio now? The Pro standard is all the Adobe products. So Premiere, After Effects. Some people can even get away with like Final Cut Pro, but I think Apple Clips is great. I like frame.io because it allows for simple editing and commenting, as you saw before. Another one, which is $10 a month, is Descript. Descript was originally made for bloggers, and it allows you to edit a video as if you're just editing text, which is really
Dennis, are
neat.
these for your phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like here's one for Descript right now. And I have the phone version and I have the one on the desktop, but like, look here, this is one where, you remember I was showing you the Jake Paul stuff? So here, look at this. This is something that blew my mind. I've been looking at tools for hundreds of videos tools for years. Look at this.
50,000, yeah, that's a little bit too high.
So I could come in here and say, I could take this word and I could delete it. And then I could come here and I could play from here.
That's a little too high.
See?
Wow.
Now, and then it's edited the video. So if you don't like to mess around with multiple tracks and editing video on these different tools, literally, like this blew my mind 6 months ago when I started seeing this. So we've got all these transcriptions, and they do the live trans. By the way, I have no ownership in this company, okay? I just really like this tool, but we've got hundreds of these clips, and they get uploaded here. And then if I just want to change the words around, I can drag sentences. I can edit this thing like a Word document. And then it moves everything around in the video. Isn't that ridiculous?
That is ridiculous. What was the name of that product?
It's called Descript. That's like description, but it's called Descript.
Okay.
They should pay me an affiliate commission for this thing. They also have this other tool, which is, and by the way, I'll tell you this, even though it's not really on topic, because I think it's really important for like society and for people to be aware. Have you guys heard of deep fakes? You know, like you can make whatever, President Trump say something he didn't say by editing the video very cleverly. Like they do that in movies, like for special effects. But they've released this thing, and Photoshop or Adobe released one too that I think they call basically, it's like Photoshop for audio, but they have ones for video and audio where you can type in words that they didn't say, and the AI will analyze it. As long as you have 10 minutes of clear audio, it will analyze that voice and create. It's just really good because, you know, let's say in the podcast or in the video you say, oh, and the event is going to be on March 10th, but then you got it wrong. So then you can go back and you can type over it and say it's actually July 15th, and then it'll say July 15th, and you can't tell unless you're really, really listening. You can't tell. This feature is called overdub.
Is that free?
And that way you don't have to keep doing retakes. Now, of course, you have to apply because, you know, people could use this for malicious reasons. The reason you're supposed to use it properly is if you just needed to edit and you didn't want the talent to have to like re-speak that whole thing. You can just lightly edit it and insert words here and there that they didn't say, right? So there's a whole world of new things that are coming up, and if you know, either it'll scare you or excite you, right?
For sure.
That's where it's going, folks. I'm telling you, video is important, and it's so important that there's tools that will fake the video. You could literally type out a whole paragraph and they will say it for you, and if you do the whole paragraph, it looks not quite real. But if it's just a couple of words, you can't tell.
Wow.
There's no way you can tell social media. You can believe, you know, people will post stuff like there's an explosion somewhere. You don't even know if that was real or not, right?
And get
trust is important.
Was that free, the overdubs?
No, that one you have to pay $100 per voice, and then you have to record 30 minutes, well, at least 10, but they want at least 30 minutes of you reading the script. So here, I think I have it open. Do I have it? Where's the script that you have to read? I don't have it on me right here, but you basically have to read a script.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the next question. Just starting to open, what should our messages be about?
Well, all the standard grand opening things. Why are you there? If you're part of a chain, then it's going to be a little tougher to have a founder story, but talk about the area, interview some of the staff, generate excitement. The key is going to be the behind the scenes where you get them to be on your side. So where you're like, oh yeah, I'm Sally, I'm the general manager. I'm really excited. I moved here with my husband and 2 kids because we're running the front desk. Whatever we're doing, you get them to be on your side. We're like, oh yeah, they root for you. And grand openings are great opportunities to be able to showcase different parts of the property and who's doing what that you otherwise wouldn't be able to do, because with the grand opening, they expect that. And maybe there's some kind of grand opening event. Maybe the mayor is going to come and cut a ribbon. Well, great, collect some video. Please mic up anyone that is speaking. You can use your cell phone, but please use like a Rode Video Mic Pro, or use like a cheap lav mic, like a power device, which you can get for like 17 bucks. Do not use cell phone audio, please, because you cannot fix that in post. I don't care how good of a video editor you are. The most important thing in video is your audio. I know it doesn't make sense, but just trust me, okay? If your audio sucks, you can't fix it. You need good audio. But
Well,
yeah, grand opening. Yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, I guess everybody is going to have a reopening. And
Yeah.
the reopening could be talking about all the things that you've done during the time that you've been closed, and what the new protocols are after you open, what precautions you're taking, what you're doing differently, those types of things. Would you suggest that that's a good bit of content?
Absolutely. So this is one that we have for gyms. So there's thousands of gyms that are going through this. So of course you say, as we're reopening our gym, here's how we keep safety. Here's how we wipe everything down. Here's what our people are doing. Here's why, here's our new hours. You need to set an appointment. You need like all that kind of stuff you can do, but you would have that as part of your process anyway. So when you're training your staff, just turn the camera on and then have the different people make little videos explaining it, so it's not just one spokesperson, right? And you're still
Sure.
doing the same standard funnel: awareness, consideration, conversion. So whether it's an opening or a reopening, it's still the same thing, because you're letting people know that you're here, right? Those same tips. We're here. This is how this is what we're doing today. This is what we're thinking about. Here's what some of our customers are doing. Whether it's ongoing or a grand opening or reopening, you're still telling the same stories. What's the difference, really? You're still connecting with people and telling them what's going on, right?
Great.
Like that's literally what we're saying here. This is for thousands of gym owners, but the same thing applies to hotels.
Right.
Why wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll go to the next question. It's more of you're at a conference with hundreds of people. Are people wearing masks? Are they social distancing? And what precautions are they taking? What's the vibe?
It is. So, of course, with the city of Indianapolis and the different precautions and laws they have, the only time we're not wearing the mask is when we're speaking on stage. But they have some strict security here. So we're at the Scottish Rite. What is this thing? Indianapolis. And Scottish Rite Cathedral. And there's only 300 people at this conference. It was supposed to be 1,200, but they had a rule where it had to be 25%. So it's a big place, but the tables are really far apart. And to be able to get in, they have this external security group that's checking everyone's temperature, requiring masks. No one else can get in, like no exceptions on, all this. So yeah, I think it's working. I mean, you see this at other places that are starting to reopen, especially where it's not as densely populated. So obviously like New York or Miami or LA, it's going to be tougher because they have more cases.
Mm-hmm.
But for this one here, there's social distancing. It's a big auditorium with only 300 people in it. So I think it's fine. I've been checking every day because when they told me about this, I'm like, there's no way they're going to have this thing. They're going to cancel it, right? And I still bought my ticket. I bought it on Southwest, so I know I can cancel if I need to cancel. But I've been checking every day. And they're saying, yep, it's on. You know, we talked to these other people, you know, who run the thing, and they say it's okay. It's like, all right.
And how was the flight, Dennis?
I flew Southwest, so Southwest doesn't have middle seats. Middle seats are blocked out for the next however long, you know, a few months. And I thought people were pretty cool about it. The flight was maybe half empty. I've been on some flights that are almost full, except for the middle seats. And I've been on some that there's just like 6 people on the flight. So I don't know if you guys have flown, but I think flying the airlines already have, I know people make fun of them. I used to work for the airlines. I worked for American Airlines 20 years ago. The airlines already have some crazy safety precautions, and now they're just triply disinfecting everything. That air is recirculated or refiltered, whatever, something crazy like 3 times a minute. So the airplane air is actually, believe it or not, more sanitary than the hotel room air because of the sanitation there. I know a lot of people want to argue that, but it's crazy what they do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next question. Can we have a PDF of the presentation?
Yes, you guys will get that shortly through Susan.
Okay.
And we have lots of things. There's the presentation, and then there's the other guides. Like whatever you guys want, just let me know. I'm giving it away because I want you guys to implement it. I want you guys to remember in a year from now saying, you know, when we were struggling and we were reopening and, you know, we were, and this, we went through these steps. It was because of Susan Sweeney and that webinar with Dennis and those tips. And we hired these people and we got our marketing going. And my goodness, this is marketing that we knew we needed to do for the last year or two, but now this thing's happened. We really needed to get digital marketing. Now it's like life and death as opposed to, oh, these are nice digital marketing things to do.
Dennis, can you put up your email address so that people can see how to get in touch?
Yes, and
Okay.
literally just,
yeah.
let's see, you want to put it in the chat thing here? It's just dennis@blitzmetrics.com, and I'll type it up here. Or you can also email operations@blitzmetrics.com, which is probably going to be faster than emailing me, but I'm always available. I look at everyone's comments. It might take me a day or two to get back because, you know, I got a lot of emails, but I always reply. I always look. But dennis@blitzmetrics.com or operations@blitzmetrics.com. Any training that you see me share, I'll share with you at no cost. So you can call that the Susan friend factor, whatever you guys want.
Yes.
But you got to mention Susan. So if you send an email to me or not, and you don't mention Susan, I might not know who you are because I get lots of random emails. Okay.
That's nice. Okay, the next question is, I do walk around vids at our property, but I don't want myself, so no voice. What do you think?
Oh, you need a voice. I mean, you could later do a voiceover or have someone else do it, but why not be real? I mean, just pretend it's a friend that you're talking to, or ideally show your face. Do it in selfie style as you're walking around, and it's just going to be more interesting than someone who's silently creeping around a property, walking around with their phone. I mean, that doesn't feel right, right? Or find someone else you could walk with and interview them. Like walk and talk with them, but put the phone on them. That way you don't have to be on the thing and you don't have to talk, right? Usually you can find someone who you believe has that personality where, you know, they're charismatic or something, right? And you're probably not giving yourself enough credit because really the guests, they're not looking at whether you're a Hollywood actor. They just want to know, are you a person and what do you care about? Are you a nice person, right? Believe me, you're judging yourself way harder. I've never seen you on video, but I guarantee you, I've done this so many times, you're over judging yourself.
100% agree with you there, Dennis. Next, I'm down to 2 questions. So if anybody's got anything further they'd like to have covered during the program, please get it in now. The next question is, how do you find good resources in the Philippines, like you mentioned?
That's my little secret. So I go to onlinejobs.ph. This is the largest one for digital marketing workers, virtual workers. And there's 1 million Filipinos that started $1.50, $2 an hour. And we have a whole guide on how do we hire virtual assistants, just so you know, because and by the way, if you don't have a clear process that you're hiring into, then you're going to say, oh, I hired them and they didn't work out. Well, yeah, you didn't hire the right people and you didn't screen them right and you didn't train them right and you have a process. So here's someone who just applied. Jan Maris Alfonso. This person is working full-time for $414 a month. And look, graphics design using Illustrator, vector tracing logo, all this stuff, right? And here's all the stuff they do. Here's their portfolio. So this guy for $400 a month, full-time, working for you, college degree, you know, they have a family, they live just like we live, but things are a little cheaper over there. And this is what this guy's been doing. If you like this stuff, then, you know, great. If not, go look at someone else. But look, we have thousands of these people that are applying. I bet you can find one. Okay, maybe you don't like this one. Maybe there's one, you know, for $500 or $600 a month, full time, 40 hours a week working for you. My goodness, put these people to work.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing.
Look, it'd be illegal in the United States. Look, I'm an American and I love America as much as anyone else, but man, when it comes to business, okay, this guy wants a lot of money. He wants $700 a month. Well, he better be good. Oh, Bachelor of Science in IT. Okay, so he probably builds websites. Oh yeah, okay, so he does all this other kind of stuff. Oh, he does all these different things. He builds websites too. Okay, great. He builds social media apps. Okay, right. All right, this guy looks like he's probably a little bit more, right? But $700 a month. What does that work out to anyway? $6 an hour? That works out to $6 an hour. Anyway, yeah, there you go.
Wow.
We have a whole guide on hiring VAs.
And the last question, unless someone gets one in real quick, is interesting. Do you think TikTok will sell to Microsoft?
Yes, they will. They have to. The gun's to their head. And Microsoft bought LinkedIn. So Microsoft definitely has an appetite for this kind of thing. The real question is going to be on the data privacy side. What's going to happen? And if the algorithm is as strong as it appears to be, it'll be fine. And this whole data going back to the Chinese government, you know what? The US government already has all our stuff. And the Chinese government has, as you know, like with Snowden, remember when Snowden basically outed some of the things that we're doing in the US? The Russians and the Chinese are already in our stuff. So I don't really think it matters. Just don't do anything dumb, okay? The key thing with social media is don't post anything dumb that will get you in trouble. That's more important than the Chinese or the Russians snooping in our stuff. Obviously, I don't like that, right?
That's interesting that you think that
The Chinese are ahead of us in AI. I'm sorry, they're ahead. And it's not because I'm Chinese and I was born in Dayton, Ohio. I speak perfect English and I'm an American, but the Chinese, because they have no ethics when it comes to like boundaries or whatever, their AI is ahead of us. They're cranking out millions of data scientists and engineers every year. They're way ahead of our game. Their education game is ahead of us.
It's
So
interesting.
they might catch up.
Doesn't China have they've got a product that's that does everything. It does, you know, it does all the Facebook stuff, but it also does the online.
Oh yeah, they have their own ecosystem.
What's it
they have
called?
WeChat. They have
WeChat. Yeah. So why would they not just keep TikTok and you know, they can't stop Americans from using it.
No, but they have their different versions in different countries. And America can block the servers because something that's known only to a few people is America controls the DNS system, which is basically the address book of the internet. ICANN and Aaron and those other guys. So, you know, the technical folks know that.
Okay. So
we invented the internet. So we control the directory structure.
Okay. Well, that brings us to the end of our questions, the end of our program. Dennis, thanks ever so much. Always interesting and lots of great content for our viewers. So really appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Susan, and thank you, everybody. And please let me know what you thought. Let me know if you need help. Dennis@blitzmetrics.com or operations@blitzmetrics.com. Look, I know things are tough. Travel's been hit harder than almost anybody, but I think things are going to come back, and we need to really use this opportunity to invest in digital and get more customers and connect. And I hope that this is something that you take away a couple, not everything here, there's a lot of things, but take away a couple things and find that it makes a difference, and keep doing more and share what's working. And Susan and I are here because we want to see you like this. This is not for us trying to get rich. We want to help you. We're here to teach.
Yeah. And, you know, it's so great. I get to see who's logging in and watching the videos, and it's amazing how many people are using this time and putting it to great use.
Yeah.
It's a time when they can be working on their SEO or their content calendar or their YouTube channel or whatever it is they want to do. And we've got all those courses in the library. We've got 350 hours of recorded program, and everybody has access to it. So it's real nice to see so many people using this. We'll call it downtime. It's not really downtime, but using this time to get ready for when things open again and when they're ready to be much better prepared and do much better marketing. So happy to see that. And
Absolutely.
don't forget to join us next week. Take purposeful brand actions during COVID-19. So hopefully we'll see you next week. Thanks again, Dennis. Thanks everybody for attending. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.